Okay. That's right. Gotta use that. Okay. 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 Alrighty. I'm back, everybody. Sorry, I'm running a little behind today. Let me get this on. I figured out another way to check and make sure I'm on here. I forgot I always have my tablet. So, all right. I'm on. I can see me. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Let me wash my hands real quick. I'm not going to do a lot today. I'm just going to make a little cowboy pasta, but I thought I'd let you hang out while I'm doing it. I got all the onions and everything cut so far. So what I'm going to do is I already got my pasta done too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put in the hamburger. I'm going to stick in here's the hamburger, and then I'm going to stick in onions and the onions and I had some. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in here. I had some oh Lord, trying to think of the name. My mind went blank. I had some I can't think of it right now. That's too big. Try and think of the name of it. Anyways, I had some banana peppers that I wanted to use up, so I decided to put them in there. So I decided to stick them in there. So that's what we're going to do with them. Alrighty. So I'm going to turn this on. Put a little bit of salt and pepper in here with this. We're going to put this all in here until it gets brown. And then we have a cheese sauce we have to make up yet. I don't know what was on the bottom of that. I need about 3 tablespoons of garlic. I don't like a lot of garlic. Well, I'm not going to eat much of this anyways, but because I'm going to put bacon in it. I'm not a big bacon fan. I like bacon once in a while, but not. Usually I like it with just eggs, but I already did up my bacon. I put it in air fryer. And thank you everybody for the compliments yesterday about the cake. I took it to work, sent 2 of them off to work. Well, I don't work on Mondays, but I took it over. And there was a lot of people reached out and said it was really good. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get all the air out of this bag. Because if you have one little thing in here. This will make your refrigerator smell like garlic, and I hate that smell. Alrighty, I need cumin, and I think I have some cumin. I need some cumin, and I need some, I might not have any cumin. If I don't have any, that's fine too. I don't think I do. That's okay. I need some chili powder. Let me see if I have any chili powder. Oh, there's cumin. I got some cumin. And there's chili powder. Alrighty. So, I wanted to get that out before I got on here and I forgot. Alright, let's get this all mushed up. Like I said, we just got to get this to... This doesn't go in the oven or anything, so... We're going to take this. I did shells. It's a, you got to use like a small pasta, like elbows or shells or rotini, something small in a pasta form. So I just did shells. I'm just trying to get all this hamburger mashed up. About 1.5 pounds of hamburger. I did put, and I already had that put in my pot right before I got on. I did do some turkey burger too in there. I had some to use, so I used it. So, to this, I'm going to need to have some whole corn and some crushed tomatoes. I was going to use some diced tomatoes, but Quez asked me not to, because he doesn't like them. You know what I think I'm going to do? I got this Southwestern corn. I think I'm going to put that in there with one of those. I buy the Southwestern corn once in a while. Oh, I had some okra to use up. That's what it was. I knew there was something else I had. I had some okra to use up. So I put that in there. So... some pickled okra I had in the refrigerator, and I had to get it used up. So I cut it up and put it in here with this. So anyways, after we're done this, we're going to make a cheese sauce. I got a little pot here for that. Just trying to get that fried up. Let me open all these cans up a while. Some of them need to be drained. So how is everybody today? Are they doing okay? I have two different things. I forgot I have my tablet, so I put that over here so I don't have to keep on running over to the computer on my desk. So I'm just trying to get all this opened up while that's frying up nicely. I want to put a little bit of I'll put a little bit of olive oil in that too. Hold on. There we go. Let me pull that out. Just a touch of olive oil. About a tablespoon or so. Okay. There's that. Get this all smashed up. All you want to do is get it to the onions get pretty much done, and And the hamburger gets from being red. Okay. Let me drain. I have a couple of things I need to drain here. Or I can put them in there. Alrighty. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to drain. I have some other okra too that I wanted to use up, so I'm going to put it in. I had a can of it. I might as well put it in with this. This here, you can pretty much use whatever you want to use. Like I said, I had this Southwestern corn. Usually you just use sweet corn, just a thing of corn, but I have about 2.5 pounds of stuff here. So, all right, now to that, I'm going to add chili powder and cumin. I'm going to do about a teaspoon and a half of each. If I can find my teaspoon. Here we go. All right. Let me push this over. I'll put it over here. All right, here's a teaspoon. Just a little bit more than a teaspoon. This is cumin. I don't want a lot of cumin. I'll probably do about 2 teaspoons of the chili powder, though. 2 teaspoons of chili powder and a little over a teaspoon of cumin. Like I said, I'm making a little bit extra because I had extra. I had extra stuff to put in here. I put some turkey burger in here. So I do want to drain that a little bit, though. I'm going to have to put a little bit more in it. I don't always drain it, but that got a pretty much liquid in there. I don't like all that liquid. So let me get a little. I'm not going to take it all off, but I do want to take a little bit of it off. Okay. And then, like I said, I put a little bit more chili powder and cumin in there. I just don't like all that in there. Okay. That should be good. Let me get my towel. I don't want to put that on my thing like that. Then it starts smoking up my... Alrighty. So I'm going to put in my... Now I got that done. I'm going to put in my... What did I do with that towel? I'm going to stick my jalapenos in here. I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to stick my jalapenos in here. I have a little can of jalapenos. Put them in there. Then I put your corn in here. Let me put a little bit. I'm just going to dab a little bit in there. I'm not going to take the tops off. Okay. Your can of tomatoes. I have crushed. Sometimes I use diced. But today I use crushed. Okay. This is good when you have stuff you want to get rid of. You can add it in this. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to try that to see how that tastes. So I see if I maybe want to add a little bit more. I want a little bit more chili powder. And just a touch of that. Okay. Alrighty. I got this bacon I'm going to crumble up and put in there. I'm going to wash my hands. I had put this in the air fryer. I don't like frying mine on the stove anymore. So I stuck it in my air fryer. I did that earlier to save some time so y'all don't have to hang on here all day. Normally you put half a pound in, but because I had I don't want to make it real little, because I had a extra burger. I'm going to put it was about 3/4 of a pound. Okay, let me wash my hands off, because that stuff's greasy. Oh, I had it on that paper towel. Okay, so I'm going to push this back here, or I'm going to make a cheese sauce. I'm going to push this back here and I'm going to turn it on low because I got to make my cheese sauce, then I'll bring it back up. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter, about 4 tablespoons. I want to use this butter up what's in this butter dish. I keep on adding to it and it's not going anywhere. So there's some butter. Like I said, about 4 tablespoons. Then I'm going to get out some garlic powder. I'm going to put a little bit of cowboy butter in this also. I got to get a whisk for this, so I got to put flour in this. All right. I want to have about a teaspoon of garlic powder. A little bit more in there. Not going to hurt it. Then I'm going to put some of this cowboy butter in there also. Okay, I'm going to throw a little bit in here also. Okay. We're going to have this hang out over here. All right. So, then I got to stir this 4 tablespoons of flour in here. I had already measured it out. And I like to go slow on this because I don't like this to get all lumpy. So I usually go pretty slow with it. Get a nice thick roux here. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more for now. Alrighty. there's all that. That was 4 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to need 2 cups, or at least 2 cups of chicken broth right here. You can use vegetable or beef if you don't have chicken, but I'm going to put some in slowly so I can incorporate it with this flour real quick. This is 32 ounces, so this is more than what I need. But I do need a little extra, like I said, because I do have a little extra in there. I'm going to put it in here because it's making a mess on my stove. Okay. Let me keep this stirring so it doesn't get all lumpy. Put some more in here. All right, I'm going to turn this up now so we can get this I can smell that already. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I'm going to turn it down to low. I don't want it on real low because this is a little burner and that's a big pot. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit more in there, like I said, because I have extra in there. So I'm going to use about 1.5 cups. Plus I already have put some in. So it's about 2.5 cups I had here. Okay. So I'm going to let that go for a minute. Then I'm going to need a cup of heavy cream. So let me get all this out. Now tomorrow I do work. I will probably come on here Thursday and do something. I have some salmon with the skin on that I got to use up. So I have a recipe that I can use for that. Trying to get this to come up to somewhat of a boil. Trying to be a little cleaner today instead of having everything all over the place. Okay. You can put the jalapenos instead of putting them in there. You can put them in your cheese sauce. I just chose to put them in there. I'm sorry, my allergies are really acting up today. All right, so let's put this heavy cream in here now. And then we're going to let this go for about another 2 minutes. And then from there, we're going to put in the cheese. I'm going to put a little bit more of this cowboy. They call it cowboy butter from Kinder's. I like it. Put a little bit more of that in there. Okay, let me get out my cheese. You need about 2 cups of cheese. Or if you like more. I want to use I grated that last night when I had to make something else. I would have came on when I made it, but I made it before. It was at Steve's Breakfast Biscuits, so I've already made that before, so I wasn't too concerned about making it again. Alrighty. Now let's get the cheese in here. And not all over my stove. And melt this cheese up. A bit more of that in there. Okay. This is just some banana pepper jack cheese. I'm going to put a piece or two of that in there to go along with the theme. It'll just make it a little creamier. Put a couple pieces of that in there. Okay. Let's let this all melt up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our macaroni to that. And then we're going to put in my macaroni's overflowing over here. We're going to put, I have it in a bowl, in a colander in my sink here. Because I put water in the bowl, so it would not get all starchy and stuff. So yeah, just make sure you keep an eye on your cheese sauce. I'm going to turn this down a little bit lower. Because you don't want this to burn. Trying to get this to thicken up a little bit. So alrighty, I'm going to add the rest of this cheese here. Going to put the rest of that in there. Just a shredded cheese. I don't need it for anything else because, like I said, I'm working tomorrow, so I seriously don't need it for tomorrow. Wonder what this tastes like. I don't like when it tastes like flour. No, actually, that's a pretty good cheese sauce. Okay. All the cheese is melted. So I'm going to move this over. I'm going to bring this back over here. Turn that off. I'm going to stick in my pasta, which is overfilled. Let me get some off the top real quick. It's overfilled. I should have used a bigger strainer. Alrighty. Let me put it in there. Take it over like that, and I'm going to be having it all over the place. I put it in the bowl. I dumped the water out. So, all right. Here we go. I'm going to do this a little at a time because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn my oven on. I know I don't have to put it in my oven, but I'm going to put it in there. Let me get a pan. This thing is really full, so let me put it in here. And it's not going to hurt it to go in the oven. I said I wasn't going to make as much today. See that? Imagine that. All right. Let me get the rest of this in. I don't think I know how to make anything that's little. Okay. Get this all in there. Let me put this cheese sauce in here. Just want to get some water in that pan. All right, let's get our cheese sauce in here. I'm going to have to be careful because this thing is full. Very full. Okay, let me put more over here. This is just a cheese sauce. I'm trying to get it all incorporated in with that tomato stuff. I'm going to take and put it on a baking sheet. Sit on a baking sheet to put it in the oven so it doesn't, because I know when I go to take this out of the oven, this thing's going to collapse. Let me put a little bit of soapy water in that. Alrighty. Now let me get this all incorporated here. This is full. I didn't realize. Well, see, I made some noodles for me. You know how I showed you before how I make the noodles and just put some salad dressing on it with some onion and whatever else. So I used some of the, I had some of the okra, the pickled okra I put in there. And then I had some of them jalapeno, not jalapeno, those banana peppers in there, pickled banana peppers from when I made the sliders. So I stuck them in there also. All right, this is, I think I need to have a little bit more tomato-y stuff in here. Let me try it once. It's good. I don't want tomato paste. Do I have some tomato sauce maybe, or some diced tomatoes? Anything like that would work. I see something with tomatoes on it. That's tomato paste. I got a lot of tomato paste. All right. I'm going to put this in the oven. I'll come back and show it all to you in a little bit. I'm going to go in the other cupboard and get some tomatoes. I have a cupboard up front in the front bedroom that we don't use, that I keep stuff in. So I'm going to go get a little bit more tomatoes. I think it needs a little bit more tomatoes, and I'm going to put this banana pepper cheese on it. And then what I'll do is I'll come back, put it in the oven for a little bit, and then I'll bring it back and show it all to you. So give me about 5 o'clock and I'll be back. Till then, have a good afternoon. Stay blessed, and always don't forget you are loved. I'll be back.